Welcome to the audio experience of KimberlySueIverson.com, a redhead rewriting reality and multi-genre author. I am your host, Kimberly Sue Iverson, and today I'll be sharing with you a story that's close to my heart. If you prefer to read along or explore more stories, visit my website at KimberlySueIverson.com. This audio experience is for an adult audience. Themes and topics may not be appropriate or suitable for all audiences, so listener and viewer discretion is advised. Now, get yourself comfy as we dive into today's tale. Intimacy. I once read the best explanation of intimacy that I've ever seen to describe it, and I've never been able to not think of it. Into me you see. That's such a great way to describe true intimacy. Not physical, obviously, but I suppose even physical can apply in some way. But real intimacy can be so hard to achieve nowadays for people. I know for me it can be, because despite a deep craving for it, it happens to be probably my biggest fear: intimacy. What intimacy requires are things that many don't seem to want to put in anymore. I'm sure you've seen it, heard it, experienced it, however it applies to you. I've heard far too many men telling me as of late that to even find a genuine connection with someone who can even hold a conversation seems near impossible. That to find people willing to put in the work. I know it's something I see as well, and have certainly experienced. People who act as though they want to invest, but then shortly after, when that time hits for them to actually invest and settle in, poof, crickets, ghosted, something. I had that conversation recently too around ghosting. Not mentioning it here, but with some women who we all admitted to having done it, but then realized it causes more damage to do so. Not just to the person being ghosted, but the person doing the ghosting. We don't know how to properly communicate and learn how to handle conflict, in this case, uncomfortable conversations, if we don't have them, if we take the easy way out and just disappear. It's not easy. It's not something that feels great. But maybe that's part of why so many of us struggle. Who are single, mind you, but it could apply to friendship building. Doesn't have to be all around romantic. Most of my blogs, articles, musings, chronicles, whatever you'd like to call them, are usually general in terms of relationships. The word relationship just means the space and connection between two people. Partly because it could apply, partly because I don't want to limit it, partly because for me personally, I don't focus everything around the romantic sphere. It doesn't mean I'm not open to finding my person and actively engaging some men with that intention. I am always intentional now with my interactions. I think about the person I interact with, and either will not engage them in a way that opens a door to friendship if I don't want that. I won't open a door to a romantic engagement with them if I don't want that. I will not speak on anything sexual to a point if I'm not interested in that realm as well. I simply have no use for playing games with people anymore. So if I've engaged you and been open about anything I could be interested with you, you will know. I am being genuine, and I am not that way with everyone. However I engage with you, I mean. I don't need or seek baseless attention. I find too many do that now. What they seek is just to fill a temporary void with someone, so they're not alone. They seek to just use someone to fill that empty space, so they don't have to experience being lonely or alone. As usual, many reasons, not all are these examples either. Which goes back to the ghosting and intimacy. We have to take responsibility for how we treat people. As the women and I were discussing regarding ghosting at least, we had to understand why we were doing it to people to be able to communicate that. And yeah, there is not a black and white reason. It's not just, oh, I don't like this person. Oh, I'm not good for them. Could be those. Could be something happened in their personal life. Could be something that happened in ours that freaked them out. Could be a million different reasons. Like one woman actually said too, often if I have done that with someone and I ever come across them again, I will straighten it out with them. Because I'd want to be able to have that same grace to give another if they came back and said, I'm sorry I completely disappeared on you. We're talking weeks, months, years. It doesn't matter. I'm willing to forgive plenty. As I've said before, though, that doesn't necessarily mean I will open the door again to repeat the behavior. That doesn't mean either that potentially you're going to start back at rock bottom if you want my attention. Want it? Earn it. But as I discussed the other night with this guy I'm talking to, far too many jump ship so easily now. Oh, one issue comes up in the relationship, time to bolt. The staying power and resilience, the work and effort put into building something, creating something, that's what seems to be a struggle to find. With me, if you gain my attention for a while, I'm not so easily letting go. I'm also not so easily scared off. Nor do I bounce that easy. The majority of people in my life right now, I have had struggles with, and the relationships are strong, deep, intense, and I've had them for over 5 to 10 plus years at minimum. The majority of close friends I have, it's rare I've known them for a little time. I'm a builder, I'm a grower, I'm a stayer, I'm loyal. I do not easily run off into the sunset because we have issues. I do not bounce because, oh no, there's this thing about you I've discovered that isn't so perfect. And as a boring usual disclaimer to nasty little bugs, we are not talking about abusive individuals, though plenty of them I have also allowed in my life, to a point. That's the thing with me. My boundaries are solid. If suddenly someone takes issue with a boundary you've clearly set in place, pay very close attention to them and to it. Many not so good folks do quite love trying to make your boundary go away as soon as it's not convenient to them. Like that rule about sharing body pictures with people I have. Not a single one of those exists online of me. Never will one. So when a guy chats me up, has heard that, and then suddenly wants me drop it just because he's, oh my gosh, blessed me with 5 minutes of his time, how darn lucky am I? There's a serious issue there, and it's not on my side. To be able to communicate boundaries and reasons for ghosting, to even understand them and formulate them, requires such a focus on self-awareness too. First, we have to understand ourselves, what those things are that are important, but why they are. We have to understand our behavior and why we're doing it to begin to formulate it. but to be able to do that with another creates intimacy between you two. Now for me, that's the easy part. I have admitted and mentioned that I struggle more with the after if something bothers me, or to voice that anyway. This is something I am aware of and grit my teeth to do at times if I want to create a bond with someone. My natural instinct is peacekeeping, appeasement, but also I have a very easygoing nature about myself. I just would rather understand your side of an argument or your side of a perspective, then communicate mine and where I'm coming from, so we could find a middle ground to compromise and move forward faster, or so we're not both in a grr state all day and night, having it eat our mind alive. I don't like that sort of thing. Being an overthinker is probably why. I'm very easy to manipulate that way for some. If I have a connection, implant in an idea, and whoops, stuck all day. Upset me, and whoops, mind won't stop on what I did wrong. Why am I like this? Are they mad at me now? They hate me. They clearly want nothing to do with me. So much. On and on. That can be almost impossible to turn off. So I do try to focus on a problem right away, work it out, work through it, and help us both move on so it doesn't mess with us throughout the day. Maybe boring to some, but it's my natural nature. Kindness. Just nasty little bugs don't tend to receive that side of me because I owe them nothing when they bring their attitude toward me. I'm always amused over people seeing my sweet nature and figure it means pushover, doormat, weak. Try me and see. I remember even a woman trying to act like that with me, saying effectively being kind meant weak, saying something along the lines of she knew how to get her point across, she didn't need to be weak, or some weird stuff like that. It was just implying and connecting the age-old kind equals weak. Being kind to people means you're a demure little docile lamb. Yep, that's me. Sweet and sugary. Everyone disrespects me, walks on me, and I've never once had a single person tell me I was a biatch just because I spoke. So sweet and weak. There was such an abrasive energy about her too, trying to make that point. Well, if you have to have that sort of shield up and grower energy, you have yet to embrace true strength. Imagine the guy who's all grr, I'm an alpha male and I don't tolerate disrespect from anyone. Oh yeah, they seem super in control and strong. When we can control our energy and only unleash it when necessary, being unafraid to express vulnerability and softness, then we're truly embracing our natural strength. Vulnerability is strength. And frankly, when it applies to a man, there is nothing sexier and more attractive to me than a man tearing up and crying. Oh dear Lord, I can't. When I was younger, I wasn't a fan, but once I got older, again, oh dear Lord. Vulnerability in men is a hard and fast way to completely make my mind go into danger zone. For me now, if I find something won't work out with someone, I honor them with telling them straight out, I am not interested in pursuing this. Am I 100% good about it all the time? Absolutely not. I'm human, fallible, and at times utterly stupid. Sorry to the ones in the back waiting for the "I knew it, I knew she wasn't perfect" stuff. I admit my faults, and I can be a total you-know-what at times. There's nothing to expose here. Can you admit to being a total fool at times? I'm also fully aware that, as I say, many don't seem to want to build anymore, and me talking of not pursuing something with someone can easily say I'm one of those. But let's face it, if you're engaging with people, no matter what, a lot of them aren't going to work out. The connection isn't there over time. The interest. The fit doesn't feel right. So I don't discount at all that it can come across as me being a hypocrite at times. Hopefully, though, the difference comes across. I'm sure many can see it. I'm not going to pursue anything that isn't right for me, and I'm not going to waste time with someone that I suddenly see red flags from or the alarms go off. I certainly don't want another pursuing me just because I'm there. So for the same reasons, they shouldn't be there. That's not the same as deciding to focus on this person or going exclusive with someone and not building. Or you're talking and seeing that all they are truly after is a casual get-together or chit-chat, sex, what have you. As usual, many different variables. Building intimacy, though, with another person takes a lot of time and effort that I feel as if many just don't want to invest anymore. It can be a struggle to find those people who will do it. They are rare, unique. But my goodness, when you find someone like that who wants to and actively does so, I think of the openness one guy has had with me as of late, and I even told him how much I like how he is. The sustainability of something like that can be the real struggle to find. Many are willing to open up temporarily or for a moment, but that ongoing is what I seek most. Someone who, like my best friend and I, can sustain that. Who isn't afraid to be that way. Don't ask me how many times I have had guys want to know me, and then that point is always reached where barely effort is expended. Often, and I think many of us relate to this, it's once they believe you're theirs, like a conquering way of saying the word, a chase aspect. Ha! Earned this one's attention and focus. Now unto the next, because this has grown boring. But in reality, that's when it's just begun. That's the moment you've reached in the relationship when it's a choice to keep going and deepen it further or leave, check out. Sadly, far too many do check out, figuring maybe that's all they care to know. They know plenty. They're bored. I mean, it could be for a million reasons why someone loses interest. Even just that does it, that you do want to deepen and keep that energy exchange going. To have that sort of energy exchange too. They give, you match. You give, they match. My gosh, does that feel incredible when you have that. I know I often refer to my best friend, but bear with me because she's the only one that close to me, and she is my best friend, more like a sister. When you experience that with someone, though, there is a level of intimacy that feels safe, but also freeing. You're experiencing freedom to be you, to grow with them and independently, to thrive in that space, because there isn't that fear and anxiety of losing them. There isn't that horror of whether they approve or not. Many see love and closeness, deep relationships, as constricting and anything but freeing. How many times have people implied marriage is stifling? I've always equated those good marriages, mind you, as a freeing experience. Having that grounding support in your partner, having that best friend there to stabilize you and fall back on. It empowers us, frees us. Having a person know us that deeply and intimately, it requires a level of faith in that person, though that many of us have been jaded to believe exists. More so anyone who holds to a lot of the traditional values like myself. People seem so free to spread themselves thinly with a lot of people, not commit to that one. So there is that aspect for me where that's something I deeply crave to find. That one guy that doesn't just stay and want to build something with me, but who is there and who wants to grow with me as I can with him, and who knows me better and more intimately than anyone else ever will. Not just for right now, but 20 and 30 years from now, we're still learning and growing with each other. The thing is, too, though, is that it also terrifies me, because that is the person who can truly hurt us the most. And for the person who'd mostly been hurt by people she loved and trusted, who were supposed to protect her and take care of her, not hurt her, my God, does that terrify me to have someone know me that intimately, to know exactly how to hurt me most, to know what I fear most. Well, I mean, I just said it now, but you know, the intimate details on all of it. It's utterly terrifying. I know that is perfectly normal to feel, and I know that it's understandable given all that I've been through. Anyone who gets involved with me will have to be someone who gets that and works with me, and he doesn't fear it. Why I know I need someone stable, secure, strong, and in control of his emotions. I need that rock to stabilize me so that I don't have as much of the fear. So I do have the safe environment to open up. Just thinking about what someone said to me the other night regarding a lot of that too. One does not need to be a writer to be eloquent with words. That is for sure. I'm always amused when people find out I'm a writer and somehow almost revere me for it, as if it's something to be honored. And I'm almost godlike. It's sweet, but I feel like I write like an idiot most days. Terrible grammar, terrible sentence structure, run-on sentences and fragments, tangents, you name it. You wait until you see me trip on the carpet when there is no reason to trip on anything but that I didn't pick up my foot properly. Or maybe I slam into the door because I didn't turn the knob fast enough and moved too fast toward the door. And smack! Yep, goddess status engaged. For fun, I looked up some questions to ask to build intimacy too. Random because I like questions. So from this site, Very Well Mind, I found this. I put the link on the blog post for this if you want to see more. And some of the questions are, number 9, what's something that you'd like to try, but that you're too scared to try? Number 10, if all of your friends were asked to describe you, which friend's description would be the most accurate and why? I like that one. That's kind of a fun one. Number 34, over the last 5 years, how do you think that you have changed? That's a good one because you can tell if someone has grown or wants to and all that. One of my favorites to ask people lately is, what do you think about most at night in the dark when you can't sleep, or right before going to bed, or when it's really quiet and your mind wanders? More to come. Thank you for reading and subscribing, and listening in this case. I know how valuable your time is, so it means so much that you are here, and I'm beyond grateful you chose to spend this time with me. What are your thoughts? Engage with me and start a conversation. Just don't be rude about it. And as always, your shares are so incredibly appreciated. Share with anyone you think may enjoy it. Word of mouth is the best form of expanding the reach, so this reaches the eyes and ears of whoever may need it. My donation link, if you'd like to support this and help keep it going, is coffee.com/KimberlySueIverson.com. That's ko-fi.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. Every little bit helps, so thank you for your generosity. And remember, apparition weavers, everyone is fighting battles inside nobody can see. Who are you willing to see today? And who are you willing to let see you today? If you'd like a chance for your story to be read and featured, get in touch at stories2read@KimberlySueIverson.com. A new episode and blog is dropped every Wednesday on KimberlySueIverson.com or on YouTube under Kimber Bites. That's KimberBites, Kimber Bites. And don't forget to check out my Ream subscription page. Another chapter is up. I'm releasing Guardians of the Void chapter by chapter over on Ream right now. I will be releasing my Priestess World as well soon, long before the public gets the books. You'll be able to read the chapters as I write them and help with the world. You'll get to read extra scenes that may not make the cut either. This is still being thought out on how I will, so they haven't been posted yet, but stay tuned. Also, that world is still in progress, but I have written almost 3 books. I'm nearing the end of the 3rd one. That's the one that when you follow me on social media, if you see the updates, that's the one it's about. If I actually do some writing and get all excited, that's typically the world I'm writing in. So check out reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That's ReamStories.com/KimberlySueIverson. reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That link also will be in the description box below, unless I completely forget to add it, at which point you can remind me. What follows are mistakes or bloopers that occur during filming. Enjoy. Far too many jumps. And the relationship.